Welcome back, Dungeoneers. It's Sunday afternoon, and that can only mean one thing. It's time to play Dungeons & Dragons. You're watching Dice and Dungeons, and I'm here at the table with...
I'm David Wong. I play Nines the Tabaxi Bard.
I'm Nicole Bates. I play Soria, the Changeling Druid.
And I'm Greg. I'm playing Ulseth Ralph, the Furbolg Fighter.
And I'm Alexis Bates, your trusty dungeon mistress. We have a couple of announcements to get through at the top of the show, so take it away, Greg.
Well, this is to let you know that we will not be airing on the Sunday before Labor Day, September 5th, because of the holiday weekend. We're going to take that off and say goodbye to summer.
Yeah.
It was a terrible summer anyway.
Yeah, fall's always better.
Yeah. Say hello to fall. That's the upside. And with another announcement is...
we are going to be doing more MTG content as we get time to film and prepare it. We have some more packs to go through, so we figure we'll make as much as we can with what we got. And probably do a rematch with the deck we did on the first video, so that I can win this time.
Yeah,
Can't be undefeated.
You were not happy. You were not happy. You did get kind of mana flooded.
Yeah, I did.
You had like, what, 10 mana at turn 11 or
It
something?
was definitely not bad math.
As we established in the video, I actually would have won more quickly if we had done good math.
That's true.
We forgot
This
a
isn't
lot.
a math channel,
But
though.
Yeah.
I built both decks, so in reality, I won.
It's true. She knows the meta of MTG way better than I do, so she just helped me build the deck. I'm not gonna lie about that. You do kind of win. So we will have more content like that,
Yeah, and
where you can watch us fake bicker.
for more announcements, go ahead, Lexi.
Yes, back to me. So we have one more thing that's coming in just a couple of weeks now. We've been talking about it for a little while. DM Dailies. This is going to be our ongoing series just for YouTube. And we'll post it out to other social media when a new video is live. They are short videos, usually around 5 minutes and less, explaining all the different parts of Dungeons and Dragons. They're meant for new players and old alike, and we'll be going through every few days. We'll be putting out a new video, breaking down different core components of the game, explaining classes, explaining spells. But that's not all. We will also be giving out lessons on how to be a DM and how to run an effective campaign. So those will be coming in, I think, about 2 weeks' time. I'm not going to, put that in the ground right now. I'm not going to stake that in, but about 2 weeks, we'll be launching that. So keep an eye out on social media because we're having those out there. We've gotten quite a few requests for how do we play this? How do we do that? I don't know how to play D&D, but I really want to learn. So this is our response to that, and we hope you guys like it. I do all the recording for them, so you get to hear me explain how this game really works and how you can play it. And as it goes along, you'll get more and more into how being a DM and how being a player really comes together.
If you have some questions, put them in the comments below or side.
Yeah, or tag us in Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of those. If there's a particular topic you want us to cover, we'll let you know if that's already on our list, or we will add it to it. We'd be happy to, because ultimately it's all to address all of your questions. So, I think that concludes our channel announcements right now, which brings us to the sponsor, and continuing sponsorship brought to you by Geekified. Geekified is a tabletop gaming store out of Vinton, Iowa that takes online orders and in-store for all of your tabletop role-playing game needs. So if after watching our really terrible math on our Magic the Gathering broadcasts, you feel like trying to pick up some of the new packs for Magic the Gathering Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, which are super hard to find right now.
They are pretty hard.
They are really, really hard to find.
The physical ones, yeah.
I think most stores are sold out as a really popular set. I think even Geekified is sold out now. But if you want to buy some Magic the Gathering cards, they do have plenty. They do sell singles in their store as well if you're looking to assemble a deck. Head over to geekified.us/discount/dice and dungeons. Using that link is going to get you 5% off on your first purchase, and anything that you buy through that link afterwards also helps support the show. So we really appreciate it when you do that. We're heading into Labor Day weekend next week, and about to get back into school for some people, whether it's you're a teacher in the classroom or a student going back to your classes. Be safe, obviously. Get vaccinated, wear a mask, do all the smart things, but don't forget you have social needs too, and be careful when you do it, and maybe get together and play some D&D. So with that, I think that
Watch
concludes.
someone play D&D.
Yeah, tell your friends to watch us play D&D. No, just...
We're more interesting than anything you could come up with.
Wow.
Ouch.
Wow, shots fired.
Unless you watch DM dailies.
Then you'll learn how to be more interesting than
Are
us.
you negging our audience?
Yeah,
Am I?
yeah, he is.
Oh, okay.
I don't think.
Is that another one of those where you take a word and just use one syllable?
No.
No.
I love that Greg just negged our own audience without even knowing what it meant.
Yep.
Well done. You just trolled everybody.
Okay.
So with that, everybody, let's roll. Welcome back, Dungeoneers. Last time, on Dice and Dungeons, the party finally arrived at the city of Stilbourgh after 12 days of travel on the roads. After speaking with the local company of Blade's House, they were referred to the Swollen Pelican Tavern to get a room for the night. At a discount rate for company members, of course. The captain, meaning the captain, informed them that he had to make several arrangements before they got underway, and would be off doing just that so they could depart as soon as possible. However, there might be a little hitch in their departure plans. In the wee early hours of the morning, as our party and most of the town peacefully slept, an explosion rocked the city, and now suddenly, everyone was awake.
Oh, what was that noise?
Nines!
I am suddenly awake!
What did you do, Nines?
What do I see?
You see the bedroom that you slept in.
What did I do? I didn't do anything this time.
Really? It sounded like an explosion.
I'm more of just a fire person, not explosion.
You're a fire cat?
I prefer Hellcat.
Hellcat?
Okay.
What's a hell?
So
Alright.
are we all in one room or do we have separate rooms?
I think we were all in one room.
You're all in one room.
Oh, dormitory style.
Yep.
So penguin and pelican is not the.
It was a last minute.
Well, it
booking,
is. Yeah.
I mean, it's not
So,
like
are the windows still intact?
no.
Oh.
Look for pelicans that might have flown through the window. They do that here. I heard.
It did happen once before, I heard.
I do a pelican check. I rolled a nat 1.
Does that mean there is?
Did you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
You don't see a pelican, but you're fairly certain that there is a pelican in this room.
I go to the door and open the door.
Yeah, let's head down to the common room after putting on our armor.
And taking our possessions, because you never know what could be stolen.
Yeah.
Right here in this very room.
I immediately check my wallet.
Have you been quietly sending letters every day to Soloth asking for updates on that?
No, to the steward.
Oh, okay. I will head down to the common room to
Yes.
see what's going on.
I follow closely behind.
Respectful.
Not respectfully at all, no.
No, wow.
I'm not respectful for the people in the swollen pelican because I'm concerned about what caused that explosion, especially since it appears not to be Nines.
I'm trying to find a pelican in that room.
Nines. The pelican came downstairs.
I don't believe you. Insight check.
Okay. I rolled a nat 1 deception.
Oh, I got a 22.
Okay, so
It's clear that not only am I lying, but I also don't believe there's a pelican.
You didn't roll a great perception check like I did. I'm convinced there's a pelican in this room.
Well, while Nines is
he
looking for
didn't
the
even roll a
pelican,
perception check. He rolled a pelican check.
That's like perception. It
Starts
starts
with
with
P.
like the same letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's alliterative.
And ends with an N.
It's the same word.
Is anyone in the common room after that explosion?
Yeah, most people are rushing down, still wearing. There's a couple people in like nightgowns.
Ooh,
Yes.
You know, people are wearing the stuff they slept in. So
Not
there's
us.
a lot of like pajamas.
Is Rachel McGavin there?
Yeah, she's bolted out from back of the house where it seems that she's got a place she stays. Might be like a private residence behind the kitchen or something like that. But she's up in the common room checking on everybody, seeing what the condition of the bar and the rest of the tavern are. And a lot, not all, but a lot of the windows are smashed.
Are they mostly smashed in from like one side of the building, or are they just all around?
So the windows on the southern side of the building are smashed inward. The windows on the northern side of the building are smashed outward.
So,
And
Zoria,
some
let
of the
us go
windows on the
investigate.
east and west sides didn't all get smashed, but there are
So-
cracks.
southward is where the
South.
explosion was.
Good detective working.
That's why I'm the smart one.
Let us go investigate. Rush into danger without a plan.
Why don't you go get Nines?
Nines will come down when he finishes with the pelican.
Should we leave a note then?
I will shout. I will go up and tell Nines what we are doing. So I go up the stairs and tell Nines what we're doing and invite Nines, you who are Nines, when you are finished searching for the pelican, we are heading south from this building to investigate the boom.
Wait, why are we investigating it?
Why not?
Did someone ask for us by name
They
to
will.
investigate it?
They will, on pain of death.
How satisfied am I about searching the room for a pelican?
I mean, I don't know. It's your character, but you.
How long had I spent searching since?
There's not that many places to check in the room. You've looked around in most of the nooks and crannies, corners, and crevices, but you haven't found a pelican in there, and they're not small creatures. You know how big a pelican is.
I have a question.
Oh.
Have I seen?
Seth.
That awkward moment brought to you by AT&T.
Have I seen an Aarakocra before?
I don't think you. It's unlikely that you would have.
Okay. I was just curious if I could turn into a pelican bird person, but I can't.
If anyone asks for us by name, we will tell you. But we are going south anyway.
Well,
Fine, let me just slowly walk out this door and close it behind me while announcing that I'm leaving. I put my ear against the door.
You don't hear the sounds of a pelican.
while they're doing this upstairs, can I be gathering us 3 plates from the continental breakfast?
I don't remember if I said there was a continental breakfast at this place.
I feel like we would have asked that would have been our first question about this place.
I don't doubt that. So if I roll above 7, there's a continental breakfast. There's a continental breakfast.
And it's really early in the morning, which is the only time they're open.
That is true. It is very early in the morning. The continental breakfast closes at 5:30.
So I'm going to get 3 plates together, for one for each of us, because I know they'll want some breakfast before we go investigate the explosion.
Absolutely.
Olsef, quiet down. I'm trying to hear for Pelican.
I will go downstairs. I believe Zoria has found breakfast.
Better be continental.
I go downstairs and thank Zoria for the
There you go.
prepared breakfast.
It's a banana and some cold cereal.
Is there milk or cream for the cereal?
Yes, but it's in little cartons.
I open a little carton and pour it on. Is there sugar or honey?
There is no honey, and there are small packets of sugar.
I take 3 and put it on my cereal.
Since we're leaning into this dumb fucking joke,
I'm just putting bananas in my backpack.
you're one of those guests. Just take the whole bunch.
How many bananas can
In
I
the
add to
purse?
my inventory?
Oh hell, let's 1.
Is that before someone starts telling me off after that?
No, that's just because all of the other guests are up before you, and they've taken the bananas.
I mean, we took the time to put our armor
That's
back
true.
on.
They hit the bananas while we were
Like, there was an explosion, but at least I'm up for the continental breakfast.
All right. Has Nines come down yet?
After a minute or two, he'll peek inside to see if it slowly opened the door to see if the pelican emerged from his hiding place. And after that doesn't happen, I go down and eat my breakfast, glaring at the stuffed pelican they had.
After we have our breakfast, we will head southward.
Okay. Most of the people, by the time you are done having breakfast, they've already left. They have milled down to the southern end of town. Pretty much everyone has kind of pieced the explosion epicenter together, where it started.
And so this is the kind of town where if there's an explosion, everybody runs toward it.
It's exciting.
It's something. This is a sleepy coastal town. Something big just blew up. This is an interesting day. They want to know what's been damaged, I guess.
Well,
But everyone's sort of
Even
filing down the
democracy.
streets, trying to figure out what just happened.
well,
The streets are going to be a lot smoother and flatter after they've been filed down.
This high-quality humor is the sort of show that you can depend upon here on Dice and Dungeons.
you're learning the meaning of words. So let's follow them down toward the south.
All right.
What do we see as we proceed down the street, other than all these people in nightgowns and things walking down the street at 4 in the morning?
The longer that you're walking, the fewer and fewer people seem to be in evening wear, basically. And they're starting to get dressed. These are
So they're getting dressed as they're walking along?
No, just most of the people who are in their nightgowns kind of give up, go back, and then get dressed. And a lot of the people who are joining you now took the time to do that to begin with. So that's kind of what's forming around you. The town is clearly awake. All the lights in homes and many businesses are on. There's shattered glass all over the place. And
Good time to be a glassmaker.
it takes a little while, about 20 minutes, to make your way
Wow.
through the crowds. Where you were staying was on the more northern point of the city.
Quite an
It
explosion.
was, yeah. It blew out the windows all the way the other side of the city.
It was, yes.
So are we seeing a lot of damage as we move south?
The further south you go, the more damage you see to structures. Still, it's mostly windows being broken. Longer you go, you see a couple of doors off of their hinges. Some roof tiles are missing. And to give you a little sense of what Stilbourgh is like, the northern end of the town, it sits several hundred feet higher than the most southern end. It's built into the hillside, sloping down to the ocean. And so you're walking downhill towards the bay, towards the docks. And as you get near to the docks, you are seeing the smoldering remains of wherever this explosion had occurred. You see, bits and pieces sort of still fluttering through the air, little fragments of cloth or maybe paper. And they're singed, slowly falling. And you get a glimpse of a barge, or what's left of it, that was sitting out in the bay. Clearly the site of the explosion. Many of the dock structures on the waterfront are quite damaged. There's a few that have collapsed in on themselves, and people seem to be pulling each other out of the rubble.
What do the ships look like? We were gonna get a ship here.
Yeah. The Zephyr is supposed to be here, or maybe even the Black Maiden.
The ships seem to be, moderately damaged. All of them had no sails at the time. They were all drawn, and thus they didn't catch any of the pressure wave. Masts mostly seem to have held. Some of the weaker or taller masts did not take the force of the explosion well and have collapsed. But you don't see any sinking vessels.
Do we see the Zephyr?
No, the Zephyr, you guys knew that the Zephyr wasn't here. You had to take a smaller vessel because the captain's two ships could not dock at this
They're
port.
in Krebstadt.
The docks here are too
They're
small.
I want to go, unless we're doing something specific, I'm going to go try and help provide first aid to people who were caught in the explosion.
And I'll help lift debris.
Okay. There's quite a bit of work to do, and the townsfolk appreciate your help. There's fortunately not too many people that are injured. It being the early hours of the morning, there were hardly any people down here. Even the fishermen hadn't yet gotten to their boats.
While we're helping, I will be going like, hey, what happened? Like, what's going on?
No one's clear on what happened just yet. They're all still just trying to piece together what they witnessed, the damage that's been wrought. They can see where the explosion occurred, but no one's quite sure.
What was that barge?
One sort of recovering individual glances up at you. I don't know. I mean, there's lots of ships out there. Could have been anything.
Could it have been a barge full of fireworks for the election festival?
Aye. Could have been.
Once again, democracy ruins a whole town.
How many times must we show this?
How would we find this out? If so, it could either be for the festival in total, or it could be for one of the two candidates.
Well,
Or it could be something else
I
altogether.
wanted to look around for some of the larger shreds of cloth or paper that you said were flying down out of the sky. And see if there's anything discernible on them.
As you grab a couple of these scraps, nothing really stands out. There's little fragments of like symbols, logos, clearly business markings, but nothing seems to be forming a pattern. And as you look around, you see things ripped off of buildings, and even in the collapsed warehouses that you're in, there's all sorts of like grain sacks that have been blown apart.
Right.
So there's just all sorts of scraps of things.
Can we see if there's any of the mayoral candidates? I mean, they should probably be down here trying to calm the crowd, right?
They should be. They should be here electioneering, gathering votes and support among the survivors.
As you're
You know a lot about democracy.
I have no idea what I am talking about.
as you are kind of sitting here sifting through things, and people are trying to piece together what happened, people start to become more clear that that barge was a barge full of fireworks.
Hey, good guess.
Ooh.
And it was for celebrating the mayoral election, but it's something from the city. It's not from either candidate. The city celebrates the conclusion of the elections. It wasn't meant to be used for another 2 days.
And there's no current mayor.
No, the office of mayor is currently unheld, and the town council is basically in charge, although several of its members are also up for election.
So, what's
Well,
this maybe?
now we have a piece of information that is almost of no use at all in solving this mystery.
What if one of these candidates, this Frederick Swellfoot, for example, he seems like kind of, a Ludorf type, based on his name.
As opposed to Marion Rum, which is rum.
Yeah, I don't know what rum is.
Nines, do you know what rum is?
Of course I know what rum is.
Yes. Is
It's
rum
her
a
last
good
name.
thing?
Yes.
Wow, what if one of them set off this explosion to make the other one look bad?
Well, if that were the case, then there would be some attempt to frame that other person.
Which we should look for.
I would think that if they were attempting to frame the other person, they would make it obvious.
Yeah, like a big sign that says Frederick Swellfoot did this.
Yes, or Marion Rum did this. Or there would be,
She doesn't seem like the kind.
well,
That is how most framings happen. They just write a big note, says this person did this crime.
isn't it framed?
So yeah, they
Well,
want to
then
make
that
it
is why
nice.
they call it that.
And yes, that's what happened.
I will ask around to see.
If there's any 7-year-olds watching, they're going to be very confused by that phrase for a long time now. Framing is when you leave a sign at a crime scene framed that says who did it.
I like that this is their first real look at democracy, and they're like, so what if it's all corrupt?
Yeah.
So, I will keep an ear out for rumors or insinuations or accusations.
I'm gonna ask around to see if Frederick or Marion or any of the other candidates are down here, and if they can point them out to me.
And I'm gonna look for a window that's not broken yet.
Oh no.
So, working from nines, there's not one down here. They're all shattered.
Yeah, keep an eye out as we travel.
Okay. Well, Seth, remind me, what was your goal, your next event here?
I'm listening for rumors and accusations and insinuations about what the potential causes could be.
All right. Give you a little bit of the crowd murmur. There's a lot of things being shouted by the crowd right now. Some say that the people who were managing this barge were just idiots. And a couple of the people refuting that and saying they know them, they're very smart and careful, that wouldn't happen. A few others are saying, I bet it was someone trying to basically throw the race their way, by making someone look bad. There was plenty of commentary going on around, what do we do? Who's going to pay for all this to be fixed? How are we going to handle this? This is a devastating event. There's people saying, why do we even do these damn fireworks? Nothing seems concrete. There's a lot of just blame and people being distraught, recriminations about things, jumping to conclusions. Nothing really coming clear to the surface. So a consensus idea from the crowd.
I asked the person who knows the people who are doing the fireworks for their names and location.
Okay. He said that's handled by his brother-in-law and his son. And his brother-in-law's name is Jeffrey Ringsworth. And his son is Levain.
Levain.
Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering how to spell it.
Levain.
And where can I find them?
He tells you he doesn't know right now.
Hopefully not on the barge.
That's what he's fearful of.
I ask if you, who are Jeffrey Ringsworth.
No, Jeffrey Ringsworth was the one in charge of the fireworks.
Oh, you who have no name yet. What is your name?
You who have no name yet. That's gonna be an entry for the group name right there. You who have no name yet. He says.
What's your name?
He says his name is Grigor Swellfeet.
Ooh, what are the swell feet?
Wait, is
Take
that
a look at his
or
feet.
swell foot?
Swellfeet.
so different than the swell foot running for Canada?
Yeah, I mean, their family. Yeah, he gets this all the time, and he says that, yeah, our family split a while back, but, distant cousins.
Well, you who are Igor Swellfeet, do you know if Jeffrey Ringsworth or Levain Ringsworth had enemies?
I don't think so. But, I mean,
Do you think that there is anybody in town who hates fireworks?
sure, a lot of folks hate fireworks. A lot of folks love fireworks. I don't think anyone's gonna try to blow up half the damn city because they don't like fireworks. I'd rather reckon that
Do you believe
they go
that?
the other direction. If you don't like fireworks, why make the biggest one of them all?
And do you happen to know where Jeffrey and Levain Ringsworth might be right now?
I have no idea, but I'm trying to search for them, see where they are.
You should ask if Jeffrey was a fire genasi.
Well, did they have a store or shop or warehouse or something like that?
I mean, they got a warehouse outside of the city. It's dangerous work what they do. But, people like their fireworks, do a pretty good job. They've been in the business for more than 50 years.
Okay. Can you give me directions to the warehouse?
Just head main road north out of town,
Yeah,
and
that's
you'll
where you were.
you'll find a small side road. It's about a mile outside town. On your left side, traveling that direction, there's a large pine tree. Marks the corner where you turn.
Thank you very much. We will also be on the lookout for Jeffrey and Levine Ringsworth.
Much appreciated. Well, Jeffrey's a tough-looking guy. He's got sort of a scrappy, close beard. He doesn't keep it long. It's short. And, well, Vane, he's a half-elf. And pretty tall, slender kid. Young. He's only about 23 years.
Well, I've been asking around for if any of the mayoral candidates are done.
About 10 minutes after you guys get there, while you were still helping, the two primary mayoral candidates had arrived, and there's a crowd gathering around them. You know, lots of people shouting and talking at them. So they're there.
Okay. What do they look like? I guess I would like to try and insight them to see if either of them feels like disingenuous about what's going on.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Do I need to make one separately, or is this like a single?
They're actually fairly close together, so I'll let you just make it for the same.
Guidance. Dirty 20.
You get the sense that they're probably quite tired and out of sorts, but genuine surprise is what their expression seems to indicate.
I will go up to, who should we approach? Frederick or Marion?
Frederick.
The scallywag, okay. I'll go up to Frederick. I've decided he's the evil one. I'll go up to Frederick and say,
How did you commit crime?
hello, are you Frederick Swellfoot?
Yes, that's my name. Yes, you over there. And he's taken a question from someone else shouting. Yeah, Frederick, what's going on? Do you have any idea? What do your sources tell you? Neither I nor my opponent know anything about what's happening here, so please give us time to figure this out. This is a terrible tragedy, and we need to sort out who's hurt and how we can best help.
I'm with the Company of Blades.
Do you need something?
I'm offering my services to help.
Oh, well, fantastic. How do you want to help? Maybe get some people out of the rubble or something.
That's what we've been doing.
Fantastic, thank you. Is there anything else you need?
They seem busy.
They seem like they do not wish to speak to us. Well,
There's
this
like
one
a
does.
whole crowd of people shouting at them right now.
Ask Mary in Rome
All right.
if she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go up to Marion.
Just like a foot away.
Is she doing
Well, that was a
basically the
short
same
walk.
thing?
Yeah, I mean, they're like right next to each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that we might need to meet with the captain and figure out what our next steps are.
Well, you
As
who are
you're
mayoral.
sitting there, waiting for them to become available and deciding what your next move is, from the barge, you hear a and then a as a rocket goes shooting upwards out of it, and then a large boom echoes over your head, and some primitive light show sort of, it's like a crappy firework, like it didn't quite work, goes off, But in the in the remaining little bits of light, you watch it for just a moment, those sparks that are falling start to swirl together and spell out the word catch. CATCH.
Am I gonna get a free T-shirt?
And moments, just seconds after that word is spelled out in the sky above you all, thousands of pieces of paper start fluttering out of the air, and floating down to the ground.
When that first launch happened, the first thing Soria would have done is try to scan the deck of the ship to see if there's anyone on it.
Okay, make a perception check.
Guidance?
Yeah, and you said that you were doing this, so you can use guidance there.
18.
You don't see anyone moving around on the ship. And although you know that you looked after it had already gone off, there's not all that much that someone could hide behind either.
Right.
I search out Grigor Swell feet again.
Well, why don't we see what these things falling from the
Yes,
sky
I
are?
We'll
grab
catch
one of
one
the
of-
pieces of paper that's falling through the air
Yeah,
right
you
now.
can grab one too, but I want to check with Grigor.
Okay. Do you want to talk to Grigor first, or do you want to know what's on the piece of paper first?
Well, we can look at the paper on the way to find Grigor.
So we would read that first.
Okay. On it, there is a neat scrawl. Citizens of Stilbourgh, you are the unfortunate victims of a crime. I have taken the device that keeps your city from flooding. I will return this device if you pay my ransom. 100,000 gold. Left inside your city hall. Any room will do. And P.S. I'm patient. But the ocean doesn't seem to care at all.
So, I'm just writing this down quick. So they stole a device that keeps the town from flooding and want 100,000 gold in the town hall.
That is correct.
I would like to immediately look and see how the mayoral candidates are responding to this.
Their eyes are quite wide, and they're just like looking through it. There's some quick chatter. It looks like they're trying to talk to their advisors. Like, what do we do with this? What do you think is going on? There's some panic here.
So, how about hiring us mercenary blades folks?
You just need to ask for us by name.
What can you do? Yeah. What are the three of you able to do?
We have experience tracking down thieves and criminals.
We have done that many times. We have recovered things that had been stolen.
We ended the Thieves Guild in Nordfeld.
You know, it seems awful convenient. This appears to be the other mayoral candidate that you haven't talked to yet, Marion Rum. It seems awful convenient that the three of you show up just as a ransom letter is dropped out of the sky on our town.
That is really...
Yes, it is very convenient.
Yes.
You are
It's
very
really
lucky
convenient.
that we are here.
Okay, Frederick, they're clearly way too stupid to pull this off, so I don't think they're it.
You just need to ask for us by name.
Well, look, tell you what. If you guys catch this person, I'll give you 25,000 gold myself. And Frederick, looking a bit nervous now, I'll see you and give you 5,000 gold more on top of that to ensure that this city is seen justice. He
I
doesn't
like this
seem
guy more.
he doesn't seem like he necessarily wants to be paying this much money. And Marion looks back. All right, Freddy, I'll give him another $5,000 too, if they catch him before nightfall.
Well, we would be pleased to contract with both of you jointly. All you need to do is go to the Company of Blades.
We'll do that after we find it if we're on a night by nightfall. How quickly will this town flood?
At most, the city's got 2, maybe 3 days. It depends on all the ocean currents. Assuming that it's actually taken, the pump keeps the city waters moving. It puts all the sewage down so it can actually function as a town.
So there's a pump.
Is this a fervent tech?
Yeah, it's a couple
There's a
hundred years
sewer?
old. It's not so much of a sewer system as it is water control. We need to make sure that, well, when you're this close to the water, all of your wastewater goes the other way. And it keeps the bottom levels of the town from flooding when the tide is high. Otherwise, the groundwater gets pushed up so much that all the basements flood and you can't use anything down here.
We will need you to give us directions to this pump site and also permission to enter.
Yeah, sure, that's fine. Can you guys get them going? And can someone seal the damn gates? I don't need anyone leaving this town.
So we're sealed in, okay.
And someone that you haven't seen before goes, I've already issued the orders. The town gates have been sealed for more than half an hour now.
Who are you?
I'm the leader of the town council. For the moment, I'm the one officially in charge of the city.
Do you have a name?
My name's Finrearn.
Did you commit the crime?
No.
I'm convinced.
Okay.
He seemed very sure of himself.
Finrian, are you from Costeria or Silcine? Or not Silcine? Slin. That place. Slinrin?
Ilsirin.
Ilsirin.
Took me a second to figure out what place you were asking about. No. I'm a part elf. My grandmother was elf, and
What part?
The grandmother part.
Oh.
Can we have permission to enter the pump room to investigate?
yeah, here, take them all to the pump room. We need to investigate anyway. And you are given a dispatch of a couple of town to be guards, maybe local sheriff, and they start leading you to the pump room, assuming that's where you want to go straight
Yes,
away.
we wish to go to the room with the pump.
As soon as possible. I think once we have the pump and the criminal in hand, then they can hire us by name.
I did not understand the delay, but that is fine with me.
Well, paperwork will take precious time, and we only have 2 to 3 days before the city floods.
Oh, they were going to complete the paperwork while we were investigating.
Oh.
We just need to,
They'll be grateful to do the paperwork once we have the quarry.
Also, aren't we supposed to be done by nightfall?
we're having this conversation as we're going to the
Yeah.
pump room.
You were promised an additional 5,000 gold to have the problem solved by nightfall from Marion.
So 30,000 by nightfall from Marion, or 30,000 in general from Frederick.
No, both.
The intent was Marion offered up 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Or Marion offered up 25,000. And Frederick offered up begrudgingly 25,000, but then sensing some politicking, threw in another 5. And then Marion threw in another 5 and put a fast deadline on it. So the pool is potentially 60,000 gold. to the three of you to bring this to justice.
And its device.
It's simply divisible by 3.
Yes, exactly.
This town knows how to hire adventurers,
All right.
which is what we are.
And numbers.
We'll continue onward to the
Pump room.
pump room.
All right. You make your way back up the hill, and the entrance to their city utilities is in a fairly nondescript stone building near the top of the hill. You enter it, and they give you a couple of lights to carry, some lanterns, and you start making your way down a spiral staircase, going lower and deeper into the earth. Descend what you guess is probably about 50 or 60 feet, and you start making your way down a straight hallway, eventually leading you to a large chamber with all sorts of pipes and grates and huge pools of water. It's a fetid smell in here. It's unpleasant.
Is there any security on the way into this? Did we pass through any like locked gates or anything?
A couple.
And they were locked.
They were.
Okay.
Good investigating.
Thank you.
And when you get to this large pump room,
I asked, does anyone else have a key to these gates?
the utility workers, they do. They need them to do their jobs.
How many utility workers do you have?
About 30 or so.
Are they members of the Fervent Guard?
Some of them, yeah. And not all of them work in the pump room.
Well,
But-
they work in pump room.
I'd say maybe 5 or 6 work here in the pump room. Part of their job. 3 of them are part of the Fervent Guard. They help us maintain things. It's actually one of the more well-kept pieces of Fervent tech from the old days. It was one of the last pieces that he built. And, well, the town was smart enough to ask for instructions on how to use it. So, there's a few pieces that we've learned a lot about through Fervent tech. It's kind of interesting, even if the piece is a little boring.
Oh.
So what do we see in the pump room? Other than pipes and fetid water.
It is...
I put on my oregano.
You're standing sort of in the middle of the room height-wise. You'd say the total size of the room here is maybe 2.5 stories. It's quite tall. And you're on this middle level. They're suspended up in the air on some planks, walking around. In the center of the room, there is a large, very clear vacancy. All of these pipes lead to this point. Some of them are just spewing water out, and there's nothing here. It's obvious that's where this pump should be.
About how big?
How big was the pump?
Yeah.
You'd guess by the size of the space, although you're inferring from this, probably around 10 by 10 by 6
Feet?
Yes. This is a large device. So the security around it is such that how would you steal this? Because it's made of metals. You're familiar with Fervent tech. Just like you secure large pieces of machinery. It is locked. The keys are guarded carefully, and security is trying to keep people out, but no one is setting things up thinking that this is something that could be stolen.
So you are providing us guidance. Could you please describe to us what has been stolen in terms of size and shape?
It's a big pump right there. Points to the cavity. It's
And
about the size of that cavity. I don't know what the measurements are.
is there anyone who sees this, who tends to this at all hours of the day?
I think so. Turns around. You're the foreman, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm the foreman here.
And what's your name?
My name's Gwyn. And I want to be clear, it's not Gwen, it's Gwyn. With an I.
You who are Gwyn, we would like to speak with the person or persons who are responsible for tending to this machine during the night.
Well, they're right here. They were still on shift. And a dwarf and a drow come walking over.
What are your names and positions?
And tragic backstory.
And tragic backstories and food preferences.
They exchange a odd look with one another. The drow speaks first. My name is Arlik. I am an engineer here.
Are you a member of the Fervent Guard?
No. No, I am not. But, Lennon, you are, isn't that right? Yeah, that's right.
Lenin?
Lennon.
Lenin. What did you see that happened here?
Well, we were working around here and just fixing things up. You know, maintaining the pipes, doing regular maintenance. Nothing super special. When all of a sudden, there was a big bang. And I'm guessing I've heard that's like the fireworks barge?
From the south, yes.
And, you know, we ran down the hall to see what that was. It shook things pretty bad down here. So we made our way topside to see what had been going on. When we came back, the pump had disappeared.
So the pump was here before you left?
Yeah.
At what time? So this was immediately. So it disappeared after the bang. How long were you outside roughly before you came back in?
10 minutes at most.
Is there another way out?
There are some other service tunnels, yeah, that you can make your way through. There's not a lot down here, and only a few of us engineers know the pathways pretty well, but, you know, I guess you could make your way through some of the southern tunnels and get out through a few access shafts. They're normally kept locked. They're only used in case of, well, major storms to help give the water access flow, but I suppose someone could make their way through if they knew how. I don't know how you'd get the pump out of here, though.
I would like to look at the tunnels that she was describing. Are any of them large enough to move something that is that large out through them?
Very tightly.
All of them?
The main tunnel is large enough where you could move something like that. You gander that you would probably have to have lowered the pump in here through something because you haven't seen a large opening upward anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like all the tunnels could, in theory, at least allow for enough space so the pump, where it physically moved, to travel down them.
So we should investigate all the tunnels to see if the gates are locked.
Well, let's make sure. Do we have any more questions, Nines? Do you have any questions?
Can we actually physically get up to the cavity?
Where the pump was?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some scaffolding around it that seems to be like service scaffolding, so it's permanent.
I just want to go over there and just, like, put my hand over.
See if it's invisible.
I mean, getting it out there in 10 minutes seems rather impressive.
Yeah. I mean, the water pouring from the pipes makes it seem like it's not there, but I guess that could be.
It could be an illusion. Can you, do you still have your detect? Well, you'd have to do a whole pentagram and everything.
Yeah, well, why don't you let Nine, let's have Nines do his test.
Yes, and see if he just falls over and...
Are you just throwing your body into it, or just just yeet yourself into a pipe?
I would think I would take Crowbachelor out.
Did you just
see if
say
I can...
yeet yourself into?
Yep.
All right.
I think I would just take my crowbar out and just kind of like wiggle it out in front.
Your, well, if it's invisible, I guess that is a pretty good scientific test. Just wiggle something there and see what happens. Goes right through, passing through the air just like you would expect.
Well, it's not invisible. Well, maybe it shrunk.
Did you want me to do the fervent sense spell?
That might take a while.
I think it's a 10-minute ritual.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, I can stay here and prepare that ritual. If you two want to explore.
I'm thinking I'd like to detect magic. Should I detect magic?
I think that's reasonable.
I use my detect magic skill.
And search the room.
All right. A little pulse goes through you, one you're familiar with, as you attune yourself to the sixth sense of understanding magic. And indeed, you can feel that there are traces of magic left behind. It's sort of fading at this point.
What kind of magic?
This is from conjuration.
Conjuration, so they could have teleported it out. I think that's conjuration.
And is it like all over the place, or is there? Can I locate where it is?
It's around the pump, or where the pump would have been. There's conjuration magic.
They might have. I think conjuration is for summoning and teleporting.
You also get this sort of muddled sense, like just little tiny fragments of many schools of magic are present. It's almost to describe what that idea feels like. It's almost as if you're tasting a piece of salted caramel where there's hardly any salt, but then you find a piece and you're like, oh, I guess it is there. That's sort of the sensation that you have. There's just little tiny dots of evocation. And am I blanking on other schools right now?
Necromancy, abjuration.
Necromancy, abjuration. There's all these little tiny fragments that are fading quickly.
And they're still in the pump area. They're not coming from like any of the people around us.
No, it's all in the pump area. Conjuration is overwhelming. But these little fragments, they're fading and disappearing quickly. And the conjuration is fading as well.
And I can't tell which direction they're fading. They're just sort of disappearing.
Think of it like a firefly. You know, you see it and then it just fades out. And it disappears into the darkness.
I let Zoria and Nines know what I just picked up.
I'm going to be preparing a ritual for fervent sense. Nines, take this little disc and ask Dole how you would teleport a giant piece of fervent machinery.
I can do that.
All right. There we go.
I will, and I'll just be working on the ritual for a
Okay.
bit.
I activate, put it against my head. I think is how that works.
And Nines is, I've explained to Nines what I've detected.
You hear the dulcet tones of Dole responding. Do you have a need for me?
Yes, we're trying to discover how someone can just move a giant pump thing with magic.
A giant pump thing of magic?
Fervent tech.
Well, it's fervent tech, so that's basically magic, right?
No.
Well, it was here and now it's not. So we think it. What kind of magic was it, Dolsef?
Conjuration.
There's conjuration magic everywhere, but there's also like everything else there too.
But mostly conjuration.
Are you just like
How
shouting
much-
from the background into the phone?
Yeah. Like in the background. You know how that happens when you're talking on the phone
Yeah.
and somebody's
There's-
telling you what to say?
There's mostly conjuration. And everything else.
And everything else, yes.
Don't forget
Not
to
as much.
mention that everything else was there.
But mostly
I told
conjuration.
him, Olsef. I told him that already.
This is just every call center worker's nightmare. It's two people having a conversation on the other side,
Not in the same room.
but not in the same room. And one is directing the phone call, and the other one is having it. Perfect.
Be sure to tell him to bring the milk home from the grocery. And don't forget the last time he was here, he left his cup.
Anyway, do you have any advice?
I knew giving it to Nines was a good idea.
I am bored. I am best with words.
So, what you're telling
None
me
of my
is
music having words.
Tell him that the town is going to flood.
That might be putting a bit of pressure on him. If he fails, then the whole town dies.
Oh, fair.
Anybody else in this room want to have Nine say something?
Soria is probably far enough away where Dull wouldn't have heard it through the ring.
Yeah.
And all that Dull heard
It's
was
just like a coin, isn't it?
don't put, maybe I don't want to tell him that. That would put a lot of pressure on him to know that everyone is gonna die. This is fantastic.
It's a weird magic thing, and we have a personal pager for an archmage. I mean,
I'm new to personal interactions.
always
Have
reading
you
off the
concluded
card.
what you're saying?
Oh yeah, this is a pretty good conclusion of what I am saying.
So there was a large Fervin tech object. I'm guessing some sort of machinery.
Yes.
And it is no longer there.
Yeah, it just disappeared.
Within 10 minutes.
And you
Within
said
10 minutes.
that you detected a great deal of conjuration magic in it.
Yes.
Were there any other sorts of magic present?
Well, there's like everything. That wasn't conjuration magic. But it just kind of like disappeared. And then reappear.
My best
crazy.
guess is that there was a planar shift spell.
Planar shift? Sorry, I was a planar shift spell.
It was a planar shift spell?
No, that's what he said.
How good do you have to be to cast that?
How good do you have to be to cast that?
Among the wider world of magic users, it would require a significant amount of skill. In my line of work, it's child's play.
Is
Well,
he,
do you need a lot of space to like cast that?
No, not necessarily. You could cast it within a 15-foot radius quite easily.
how do you get it back?
How do you get? Can we just like undo it?
Most planar shift spells fade after a certain amount of time. However, there have been experimentations on continuing to keep the shift going.
Well, how do we know if it's an experiment?
If anyone from Elsiren is involved, then it's an experiment.
Well, how do we know if they're involved?
You would have to do some investigation to determine if there was an Elsiren individual involved.
How would we do said investigation?
I would start by looking for clues.
He is an investigator.
Well, that's true. How do you look for clues?
So I bet it's a microscope.
That depends on the situation. Were I in your situation, I would begin looking for individuals that... how do I want to say this without sounding arrogant to people that might take offense? You should start looking for people far more intelligent than yourself.
That will be very difficult to find.
We couldn't hear that.
No.
Like, smarter than Olsef? He's the smartest guy I know.
I'm smarter.
Is there anything else that I can help you with at this time?
Ask him to
Hey,
come.
Olsef, is there anything else that he can help us with?
Ask him to come fix it for us.
Sorry, would like you to come fix it for us.
I am currently indisposed. However, if the town wishes to make a contract with our company, they may do so.
Ask him if he's in therapy.
No, they haven't even made a contract with us yet. They didn't even ask for us by name yet. Can you believe that?
Yes.
Well, of course you can believe that. You're really smart.
I generally tend to believe things that people tell me.
Well, that's great. Well, I have a phone call. Have a great day.
Good. It
I
cuts
rate this
off.
call 5 stars.
How was the quality of your call?
So do I know anything about Elsiren? Do I have any clue about even what that is?
That was that.
Elsiren is the country that the Githna Ikram, or Arcane Masters, came from. You know that it is off the northern coast of Costeria and is on a peninsula. You also learned in your geography lesson that the governing structure of Elsiren is much looser than many other places, and it is incredibly powerful magic center. Basically, yeah. I don't know how more eloquently to say that. There's a whole lot of arcane practitioners there that do really dangerous shit, and sometimes it goes wrong. That is the reputation that Elsiren has.
And so there's someone in town who is from Elsiren, or not.
Someone had access.
There's someone in here from a place, or they might not be from that place.
Or some other place.
Am I done with my fervent spell? Okay.
That was a very long conversation. I hope we don't have to pay for long distance.
It's okay. It's collect. He pays for it. I'll take the little discount.
On Sprint Anytime plan, you don't have to pay extra like you do on some other long distance carriers. It's just one low rate all day long. We were watching old 90s ads and watching Sprint and MCI. Yeah, watching those ads come up on old 90s TV.
All right.
It took me
Nothing
back.
made me feel older than doing that.
Do I sense any fervent with my fervent sense spell?
You sense that some of the pieces of material have traces of fervent energy in them, but you're not getting any strong sense of like fervent energy.
Okay. But this is good for like 24 hours.
Yeah. There's a couple of hotspots nearby that you quickly determine are repair kits.
Right. Like I bet.
That's not hard to figure out. They're like on the tool belts of the technicians.
Like linen.
Yeah.
I would like to try an insight, do a bit of a sense of these technicians, and see if anyone of them seems to be more than they are.
Okay. What sort of things are you trying to... Like, what to you means more than they are?
Like,
That's what I'm
all
asking.
right, so do any of them seem less concerned about this than they should be, or feel like they're putting on an act?
Okay.
Or perhaps are, someone in a disguise or an illusion.
All right, sure. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Guidance. Nat 1, +1, +7, 9.
There's nothing
Yes.
that's making you think...
I'm retiring this die.
There's nothing that's making you think there's something up. That this is, any sort of deception or anything like that. Basically, you aren't getting any ill intentions from any of these folks. They all seem to be reacting with genuine concern. The two primary engineers here, their overwhelming emotion seems to be curiosity and confusion. They're having an open conversation, like, how the hell would you even get it out of here? And then they're having this sort of theoretical debate about where you might be able to move something that large and how you would get it out and what sort of people you would need.
Let's look and see if there's any scrapes on the floor. I know there's a conjuration magic there, but...
Well, yeah, I'll investigate and take a look to see if there's any sign of physical movement of objects.
Can I talk to the guy who the one that works for the Furman Guard?
Yeah, sure.
Linen?
Linen?
Lennon, I have a question.
Yeah.
They said you got instructions on how this works?
Well, more so than a lot of other fervent pieces. Yeah.
Like Furman wrote down how it works.
Since your internet connection momentarily went to crap, I want to make sure I understood what you said. Did you ask Fervin wrote down how it works?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, a bit. The pieces are cataloged and they, actually had specifications and designs for the replacement components. We don't have information about why the fervent crystals work, but we do have something that's particularly unique here that tells us the exact dimensions that the fervent crystals have to be cut in.
You should write that down.
I'm going to ask if I can make a copy of that part of the manual after we've solved the crime.
Of course, all fervent plans are, publicly viewable. Not that there's many, just in case someone else might one day be able to figure them out.
So, Nines and Zoria, do you remember that the last time we were trying to find some stolen fervent tech, we started out by having no clue about anything and we had no information, but we knew that something happened, but we didn't know what or where or how?
Yep.
So he wants us to go see the locksmith.
This is a lot like that.
Is there a secure ink in town?
It has to be a chain. A name like that, it's famous.
I do recall that when we went to Secure Inc., we were able to tell them absolutely nothing about what we were trying to do, and they could provide us
I
no help.
believe you were
But they
looking.
still railroaded us into the
think
right direction.
I think that we should do that again.
I believe you were looking for evidence of physical movement.
Yes, I am. I'm looking for any evidence of any kind of physical movement on
Guidance.
in the area. So is
With
that
investigation?
Yeah, it would be an investigation check. And what sort of physical things are you looking for?
I'm looking for
Scrapes.
Evidence that bolts or screws had been undone, dents, bent
In
things.
the pipes.
Okay. Go ahead.
No. 19.
Okay. You start your investigation back at the hallway and looking through each of the various exit points from this room. You don't see any scrapes on the floor that might indicate something being dragged, scuff marks, or anything like that. And you feel fairly confident that if something that large were moved, it would leave some trace of being moved. And you're not finding any. You then move on to investigate the area where it was. So the cavity is what I'll continue to call it. It takes you a minute to notice this, but some of the pipes that you are inferring would have been connected to the pump, they seem to be cut almost. It's very close to the surface, but you see these differences in grade, these slight angles, and some bolts are missing. Other parts have the bolts still remaining, but a few others have pieces of a bolt, like it had been cut in half.
So if it was teleported within like an area, maybe only part of the bolt's teleported.
So are these real like clean cuts?
Yes.
Like it almost looks like it was just made that way.
Kind of like the area around the crater where Fervin disappeared,
From what we've heard.
from what we've heard.
I mean, it doesn't look like the description's there necessarily. It's hard to take like a piece of metal and then like a crater in the ground.
I know,
But-
no, the crater, but around the crater, the limbs were like cleanly.
Yes. This would appear as though the bolts and other pieces of metal were just sort of put together that way. You know from just how you fit things that none of this is how it should be, because there's little angles and missing pieces.
So portions of it were just teleported out,
Yep.
snipped out.
Imagine, cutting a ribbon and
Or 50 feet of rope.
it looks as though it were made that way. It's very, very, very clean.
So I described this to Nines and Zoria, that whatever took it made very extremely clean cuts through absolutely everything, including portions of nuts and bolts when it disappeared.
So it was teleported.
I would like to ask everyone here present to just write out a couple sentences in my journal, and I want to compare it to the handwriting on the letters that fell from the sky.
Okay. Do you reveal to them that purpose?
No, just be like, write what happened during that 10-minute window.
Okay. They all take a turn. Some a bit more elegant than others, writing down their accounts. And when you compare, I won't make you roll an investigation for this because you're not under any pressure. You're not trying to find anything. You have plenty of time to do this and can take careful moments. you can tell that none of these match. It's the scripts for everybody are very different from the pieces of paper that fell from the sky.
Well, it seems clear that whatever happened was temporal displacement, teleportation, planar shift kind of thing. And the device wasn't moved physically through any of these tunnels. It was just taken somewhere else.
That does seem to be the case.
So this thing that fell out of the sky, these pieces of paper, they don't happen to have a C on them, do they?
No, they do not have a C on them.
They just weren't signed at all.
No, they remain completely unsigned. I mean, technically, there are, like, the letter C does appear on there several times, but
I knew it.
just to be clear, it's not signed, because I'm guessing that you were referring to
Gorma.
the pithy letter that was once left for you after being robbed
From our friend.
from your friend, C. And no, it doesn't look like that sort of writing which you have seared in your brains.
So, is the motive here just a whole bunch of money?
Well, 100,000 is a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
And does not divide evenly by 3. So we can guess that it is probably either one person or an even numbered of people.
So,
Not every group divides it evenly, Ilsa.
No. Why would not be?
Turns out there's like a caste structure, and some people think they deserve more money.
did the letter say when the 100,000 gold was supposed to be set in the town hall? Like, was there a deadline? Other than the town hall?
No, there was no
The
deadline.
note said, I'm patient.
Yes, the last line of the note said, P.S. I'm patient, but the ocean doesn't seem to care at all. And even you've been here about 30 minutes, looking around. Even in that 30 minutes, the water, there's a very large basin beneath you in this area. And the water, and mostly sewage, are rising.
All right. So,
We are certainly familiar with this.
what we need to do, we have some high-leveled spellcaster, who is able to plane shift a huge piece of equipment, or otherwise teleport, who wants a whole bunch of money. It's what we know about our perpetrator. Presumably, they'll use their high-level magics to retrieve the money as well. Correct?
If someone has such high level of magic, why do they need 100,000 in gold?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you can buy a lot of cool stuff with 100,000 gold.
You can buy one bag of holding.
Think about how many free mead kegs you could get with 100,000 gold.
At least 4.
Well, we are certainly finding motives for this act. The other place to investigate would be the barge.
We could yes, we can investigate the barge, and we should also start asking around about any people who are very powerful magicians or druids or otherwise. And while we're doing that, to try and see if we can get any suspects. Although I also, I don't, maybe ask about people from Ilsirin, for example. Because they do seem morally bankrupt, if not financially bankrupt.
Are the people from Osirin, are they all elves?
It was part of Coast Syria, so I think it's elf-heavy population.
Can we meet someone who is part elf?
Well, one of the foreman, Gwyn, was half-elf. And the son of the firework person was half-elf.
So just
You should talk
quickly,
to that guy first.
But that doesn't mean, I don't think everyone in Elsiren is an elf particularly, but they are basically all wizards.
okay. So, do we want to split up and investigate different parts, or should we stay together?
Let's stay together.
Let's honor is now the warehouse is way on the other side of town. So, shall we just ask people as we are headed toward the barge?
I think so. Foreman Gwyn,
Yeah.
do you know of any? The perpetrator seems to have used magic to whisk away the pump.
That makes about as much sense as anything else.
How? Do you know anyone in town who is capable of immense magics?
Around here? No, we're, fishermen, couple of floral experts. We have a small industry that's important for growing special flowers, used in a lot of potions and poultices. But magics? Not really. That's not our specialty around here.
So you who are Gwyn, who in town would best know if there were new arrivals in town, people who had not been here before but had just shown up within the last few days? Other than us, of course, because we are fine.
Tavern owners would know best. I mean, that's where someone's gonna stay, right? If they need lodging, they're gonna go find a tavern. And, there's a couple taverns, a hostel, and some people rent out rooms. But most of those are, to sailors and folks that stick around, work seasonally and things like that. So I don't think you'll need to concern yourselves with them.
Does your town hall have like a guest book?
For what?
Like if people come to visit, they have to sign in.
If you are meeting with one of the officials, yeah. Actually, you do. The people want to know who their officials met with and, why they're meeting. So if you're meeting with someone, but you don't have to sign in to be in the town hall, well, there are public records there, and if you want to go access them, you have to sign to do that, so we know that it was accessed.
Do you have Agmar Nodal here? Druids are capable of magic like this.
We have a couple that come through checking on us. We're not big enough to warrant a tree, though. We've been trying to get one.
I wouldn't bother.
Oh. Okay.
So, I think we need to check out the barge,
I think we should talk
but
with
we should check out.
Finrin, the town council leader, who is also half-elf, but wasn't from Elsiren. I asked.
We'll check
I think
with
we should
him.
just cover ourselves with 100,000 gold and get teleported with it.
Yeah.
And that would take us directly to the thief.
Good
Yeah.
thinking.
Wow.
How big of an illusion can you make?
Not that big. We have to use real gold. Nothing suspicious about us saying we'll solve crime, then we need the gold.
Let's talk to Finrin and check out the barge.
Yes, and if we pass taverns along the way, so we don't have to keep repeating this over and over again.
And-
The strategy would be to ask if anybody had checked in within, say, the last week,
From Elsiren or...
Elsiren, or had the evidence of like an Elsyrian accent or something of that sort.
So
Then
where
we can
you are
start
in,
Go Fund Us thing to fund this $100,000 gold thing.
so since you guys are back at the top of the town, you're going to pass basically every tavern
Yeah.
on the way down to investigate those things. So we'll do the taverns and just sort of assume that you are making your way back down as we do that.
Are we going to have a drink at each tavern as we go?
bar crawl.
This is episode 21. We're of legal drinking age now.
That's how it works.
I'm putting that in the episode description when we post it on YouTube. It's our 21st episode. We can drink now.
It's legal.
Wait, you've been carrying around mead for a while now.
So I don't know how
Illegally.
many. I'm assuming there's
Big
quite
boy
a number
crime
of
strikes
taverns
again.
and little inns, but not too many because it's a small town.
It's a town of about 10,000. There's not all that many inns. There's like 3 inns in the town. And they're all fairly sizable because you don't get too many travelers, so they don't need too many places to stay. And 3 will service just fine. But we will get back to that after a quick break. We've been going for a little while. And I would like to freshen up my drinks, use the bathroom, and encourage everyone to do the same. So we will be back very shortly. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a good break and feeling refreshed. Love you too. There. You're not on camera right now, so
I was trying to mess with you.
I guess you messed.
Okay.
Then. Well messed. When we left off, you guys were down in the sewers / utility
They
corridors.
specifically told us it was not a sewer.
Yeah, you're in the utility corridors
Full of
and
sludge.
discovered that they didn't physically move it. They very likely teleported through some mechanism, the fervent pump. And now you are making your way back up. And your plan is to stop at the taverns on your way back down to the waterfront. Do I have that right?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, we're gonna try and find Finrin again. But on our way down, we'll just quickly check in each tavern and ask to see if there's been any sort of travelers who seem to be of a magical persuasion or from Ilsirin.
Within the last, few days.
So you already know of 2 of the taverns.
Yeah.
Do you remember the names?
Well, there's the Swollen Pelican, but also the Salty Dog.
Yep. And then there's one last one that you haven't found yet.
Well, when we pass it, we'll stop in. I'm sure it has a sign that hasn't been vandalized yet.
Oh, probably. The first one that you come to is actually the Swollen Pelican. And you see Rachel cleaning the mess up.
I bet there's a window on. We know there's not broken windows here, Nines. Rachel,
Let's break windows here.
Yeah, what do you need?
we're investigating the theft of the pump mechanism.
Oh, okay. God, you don't think, I did it or something, right?
Are you a powerful...
Why, are you suspicious?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I just run a tavern. What do you need from me?
What would you use a pump for?
I wouldn't use the pump at
Do you
all.
think you could...
Lies! You use it to get 100,000 gold!
Do you think you could put a lot of beer through it? Is that your plan?
No, I
Confess!
I don't know. I wouldn't take it. I didn't take the
We're
pump.
just kidding.
Insight check!
No guidance.
That's a nat 1.
She definitely...
Are you in cahoots with a pelican?
Did you really get another nat 1?
Yeah, I did.
So did Dromar curse your dice? Is that what happened?
That sounds that's on brand for Dromar.
Yeah.
No, Rachel, we're just messing with you. Do you know of any travelers who are of a high magical persuasion? Who came through the last few days?
We don't often get that sort around here. It's a bit of an uncommon thing to see powerful magic folk come through.
Other than us.
Are you powerful magic folk?
Probably.
Oh. Okay. Well,
So, would there have been anybody like us who has come through in the last few days?
maybe. I don't generally ask a whole lot of questions about folks.
Anyone from Ilsirin?
Excuse me. I don't think so.
Is the captain here?
No, I haven't seen him since last night. I don't think he's... Truth be told, I don't think he's actually staying here.
Okay.
It's pretty common when he travels through for him to book rooms at all at the taverns.
Do you know much about him?
Only that he comes through here every few months and is only in town for a few days. Pays his bill, tips pretty well, nice enough.
What's his favorite food?
He actually rarely orders any food. And
What
when he
does
does,
he
it's
order?
usually for someone else.
He must like the jerky on the way.
He was like taking other people's food.
Have I ever seen him eat before? He's eaten with us.
Yeah, he's eating with you.
I was like, it just seems suspicious. All right. Well, his favorite drink is Merlot.
Well, that's good to know. I'll keep it in stock the next time he comes through, I guess.
All right. She's clearly too much in league with the Pelican to give us any information.
Are you guys thinking that someone like broke into town or something like that? Well, like what are you thinking?
We can't discuss the case files while it's under under investigation. We're professionals.
Someone stole the pump.
With magic.
We can't discuss it, but here's what happened.
And we are trying to find them who stole the pump. So that is why we are wondering if there had been anybody who had come into town within the last couple of days that seemed to be unusual and was a stranger to you.
Can this town even afford 100,000 gold?
They want to give us 60,000 as a reward, so I think they can afford that.
I think that we probably could piece together 100,000 gold if all the wealthiest folks pitched in, I suppose. I'm gonna let the Tabaxi figure out where he wants to be. I mean, he's the Tabaxi guy after all. You want to make sure that
he's happy.
He has a plum pick of spots.
And appeased.
Especially because he's blocking an entire monitor for the Zoom call.
Yeah. All right.
And we're just gonna abandon that plan of letting him pick a spot on his own.
He was taking too long.
Well, I haven't noticed any powerful magic folk, but I did notice something sort of odd.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Was it the Pelican?
No.
Albatross?
Birds aren't really odd around here. Get a lot of them. No.
Puffin?
Penguin.
I didn't make the booking, but there's a name that I recognize in our registry. It's an old friend of mine from when I was growing up. I always called him Finny, but that's his real name. It's Finil. His name is here in our registry books. I don't know why he'd be staying here. His family's in town.
Did he grow up here?
Yeah. I suppose there could be some sort of falling out with his family, but...
Or the stairs.
Or the Pelican.
That stair joke is for all of you people who read a separate piece.
I didn't connect that right away.
Zoria.
Yes?
Perhaps you could look at the signature in the book and compare it to the...
Good idea. May I look at your logbook? Your autograph book?
Well, what do you want to see? I try not to give out all the information about our guests.
Just the Finny section.
Well, here, come here. She leads you around to sort of a hosting spot and opens up a pretty large ledger book.
Ooh, where do you buy such a big book?
We just have the paper made for us, so we like to keep the records this way. It helps us
Look fancy.
keep everything in order.
That was a perfect opportunity for her to say Ledger Inc. And then we would go investigate that place.
We get it made at Ledger Inc. for all of your ink and ledger needs.
All right. I would like to compare the writing on the ransom note thing with the Finny signature.
It doesn't match up.
Okay. Why do you think? Okay.
But roll a perception check.
Okay. Guidance.
This is in reaction,
that
so
okay,
no
that's-
guidance. This is not a prepared check.
14.
You take a quick note that there is another name on this list, signed about the same time that Fennel had signed in.
What?
That does match.
That does match with the handwriting.
It's very similar.
And what is his name?
Kidnir. Kidnyr. There's enough writing here that it seems, you can't tell for sure if it's the right scrawl, but it's pretty close. There's a couple of flourishes on certain letters that seem to match the note.
Who is this kid near?
Someone that came in, he looked like he might have met up with Finney, actually. I wasn't 100% certain, but they did have dinner together.
Is he staying here?
He was. He left a day or two ago.
Can you describe him?
It's a tall, sort of portly elf. Had a pretty well-kept beard. Very tightly groomed.
Do you know where he was from?
Well, he wrote down in the logbook that he was from the Free States, but a lot of people write down they're from the Free States.
You can just lie on a ledger.
Can you?
And you can.
May we inspect the room where he was staying?
Well, y'all are actually staying in the same room he was.
Oh,
There were
convenient.
no pelicans in there.
Are there any pelicans in there?
I don't think so.
Okay. But the windows are out, so you're not sure.
I can't be sure. Right now, any manner of things could try to get in here, and they probably would succeed.
Let's go check our room quick.
Mm-hmm.
You're out of detect magics,
I
right?
could only use it once
Okay.
for short rest.
I want to ritual cast detect magic. It'll take me some time. So why don't you guys get some lunch?
And I'll bring you a plate.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask,
Is
Rachel
this a
McGavin.
continental lunch?
no,
No, it's still just a small thing of cereal and a single banana.
while you're doing that, I'm going to say, you who are Rachel McGavin,
Yeah?
this Finney who had stayed here, did he also check out just a day or two ago, or has he stayed?
Well, it doesn't show him as having checked out. I haven't seen him around, though, at all. Except for one night when I thought I glanced him. It's been probably 20 years since I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure if it was him.
So
Say
how
they
long
had lunch.
ago did he check in? How long ago was this?
He's been here 4 or 5 days now.
And Kidnir checked in how long ago?
Same day, but he left 2 days ago.
And this Finney has not checked out.
Doesn't look that way, no.
Could you tell me which room he is in?
He's sure in the common sleeping area. He's in the main dorm. It's just 2 copper a night for that.
Sounds like someone needs some money.
So, can I go to the common area? Find it.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Is there anybody there?
There's a couple people there sitting down, having tea. They look pretty shaken.
Hello, you who are in the common area.
Who Who are you?
I am with the Company of Blades, and we are investigating the boom. I am looking for a Finny or a Finno who had been staying here in this room.
I don't know what to tell you. We're not part of any group. It's just the two of us. So we don't know a Finny or a Finnel. We're just we're on our honeymoon.
And no one else has been here with you,
No, it's just the two of us. We're
even for the last few nights?
yeah. Well, I mean, no. We've. Sorry, we're really shaken. Nah. Like, we don't really travel with any. It's just the two of us. We're visiting Nordfeld. We're from southern parts of the Republic, and I'd always wanted to see some of their trees. I heard they were beautiful, so, well, my husband and I, we took a trip up there, and we're on our way back when all this happened.
Did you check out the lake?
What'd you say?
Did you check out the lake? It's a nice lake.
Yeah, we spent a day swimming in it, and the locals are right. It does make your skin feel really nice.
Yes, did you happen to see a giant creature, snake-like creature in the lake while you were swimming?
What? No, I didn't.
Oh, that is too bad, because Lake Sturmgrim is...
You didn't believe me when I told you. I saw this big, long, snaky thing, and you told me I was imagining things.
Oh, you were not imagining. That was Sturmgrim. You were very lucky to have seen it.
See?
He's blessed their marriage.
We threw chickens into that lake.
Trying to catch it, weren't you?
No, we're just feeding it.
Oh, well, you know, things gotta eat.
Yes. So, you have been here for how long?
I've just been here, like, I think this is our second day.
And no one else has been here.
Well, other people have been here, yeah. I don't really take much note of them.
What was the last crime you committed?
What? The last crime I committed?
Yes, what was the last crime you committed?
I've never committed any crimes.
Wrong answer.
I mean, I guess I probably forgot to pay the full amount for a couple of goods a few times in my life. I'm just guessing.
Wow.
I don't think she stole the pump.
You know, one time I was in a store, this was before we met, sweetie, and I bought a brand new scythe. I'm trying to control all of the plants around the house, right? Gotta keep that yard clean. And they threw in an extra blade. What they didn't know is they actually put 2 blades in there. I didn't tell them. Got 2 blades for the price of 1.
You're a dangerous man.
I quickly...
That's right. You
If I
quickly
finished
leave them.
casting Detect Magic.
You and me, we should join the
I
big
did not know
boy
you were
crime
casting
club.
Detect Magic.
Yeah, I was upstairs in our room ritual casting
Yes,
Detect Magic.
you have finished casting Detect Magic.
Alright, I have it for 10 minutes. I'm just going to sweep through our room, especially, but then go down through the whole inn, searching for any traces of magic.
You also have your fervent detection thing going.
And I still have my fervent sense.
You don't get any traces of fervent energy. Well, you get like just little pings, but you've kind of grown used to that since it's the same little ping that you get since Ulseth is carrying around fervent repair tools.
Mm-hmm.
So you recognize what that's from.
Yeah.
There's nothing overwhelming here from fervent. You are getting some really faint traces of conjuration magic. There's not much left. You can't really tell what it was like from, but you can feel just little bits and pieces kind of flowing through the ether about you.
Like in our room, and
Yeah, in your room.
okay, they're not really centered anywhere though.
No. It kind of like, I'll put it to you this way. It feels a bit like if you have something drip in the bottom of the oven, the next time you go to cook, it starts to burn.
I feel like all of our analogies for magic are food related. First it was salted caramel.
I guess so. Well, you guys are very food centric, so
That's how we learn.
that's how you
One
learn.
of them was with fireflies.
So there's
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, we eat those too.
there's
I turn into a
Dromar were
volleyball
with
kid,
us, he
eat
would
all
have
the
eaten them.
fireflies.
there's visual learners, there's auditory learners, there's gastronomic learners.
I can't remember anything unless it's written on a cake.
I can't remember anything unless it's given to me in a food-related analogy. But it's sort of like when you can walk through, parts of a house or apartment after there's something burning on the bottom of the stove, and you get little sense of it here and there, but it's not even throughout the place. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the sensation that you have. There's little fragments that are left.
Okay.
Well, we now have a suspect and a potential accomplice.
Yeah. So I'm guessing this Kidnir is our spellcaster, and this Finny is the local accomplice.
Well, then let us find them.
All right.
Next bar.
Can you, Rachel?
Yeah?
You said Finny's family still lived in town.
Yeah, the Lidgertons.
The Lidger.
It is spelled Lidgerton.
Can you tell us where their house is?
Well, I'll do my best. It's been about 2 decades or so since I was there. They were last living about halfway down the hill. Off on the western side of things. Their house is blue, a couple streets back from Main Avenue. They used to have their name printed out on their little receiving box they keep out in the front.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, that is on our way down.
Yeah, I think we should check that out. That might be their hideout if they are in league with each other. Are you good with that, Nines? Did you get lunch?
Of course, Nine's got lunch. Probably got someone else's lunch too.
All right, you guys head.
Towards the Lidgertons.
Well, I want to make sure,
Okay.
since you had told me initially that you wanted to go to all of the taverns. Is that still your desire?
I think the house is more important right now.
Yes, since we already have a clue.
We have a matching signature writing thing.
Just wanted to make sure I verify what you wanted to do before we move on.
Unless the taverns have free lunches.
Hurry up! We gotta return this pump or the city's gonna drown! Do we have time for lunch?
I understand how RPGs work. Nothing advances the plot unless we go to a very specific square.
Do we have time for 11sies? What about afternoon tea?
Let's just go to
We should
every
have played
person.
halflings.
Breakfast? What about second breakfast? He knows about that, doesn't he?
We seek out the Lidgerton house.
No, I think we should tax every passerby on the street. It's like, can we challenge you to a game of Tastaxis?
Gonna get that little side game XP grind in, right?
Exactly.
It's like
Like triple triad in Final Fantasy VIII.
the second best Final Fantasy
It's
side game.
a witch tearing time and space apart, but I need to play some card games and win a Shiva card.
The world is about to end. Better play some Blitzball. Because Final Fantasy fans wanted some sports games inside their RPGs. By the way, I did. I liked it a lot. I played way too much Blitzball.
I prefer soccer where the players can drown, thank you very much.
So, I am going to roll a d6 to determine who I asked to do this task. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6 for 9s. And that came up 9s.
Oh, what am I doing?
9s, I need you to roll a wisdom check.
Guidance?
Yeah, actually, you can.
Ew. Oh, that's terrible.
This is not a reaction or a saving throw. This is to see how quickly you manage to find the Lidgerton home.
I'm very good at wisdom.
Yes, I got 11. I have No, wait, no. No, this is 10. Never mind.
So you got 10.
Yes, I got 10. I did not roll very well.
So it takes you
10 hours.
11 minutes.
it takes you about an hour to find the Lidgerton home. The
That's enough
direction
time to walk through the entire town.
the directions you received weren't particularly good, mind you, and Nines might have followed his nose a little too much.
Did I find another pie?
How many fried fish stands do you think they're at?
Yes, actually, you did find another pie.
Uh-oh.
And since you've been asking, there are a couple of unbroken windows.
Well, just break the window from the place with the pie up. It's on a windowsill, right? So you steal the pie and break the window.
Well, that'd be mean.
Oh. Fair.
Vandalization. Steal pie.
We've spent 15 minutes thinking about the moral outcomes of this choice, and we're still trying to save the city.
Well, I rolled a 4. That means I'm going to steal that pie.
Okay.
Guidance.
Sleight of hand check.
What kind of pie is it?
You're very pro stealing pie, Soria.
Yeah.
Pies
Nah.
are tasty.
Jeez, this is a garbage die.
I leave a silver on the windowsill where the pie was.
If it's a clean getaway. That is another 10. I rolled a 4 and a 5 and a 6 recently.
Okay. I am seeing if I have a pie table quickly available. There's not one, so
This is a savory fish pie
34.
because it's a fishing town.
It is an apple pie.
Ooh.
I did leave a silver on the windowsill where the pie was.
Does this not go against your code?
Leaving a silver?
Did you wipe your finger?
Stealing.
So it's a big boy crime followed by a big boy paying for crime.
Which should more than cover the cost of the pie.
Yeah, that's a rough conversion. It's about $30 for a pie. It's a damn fine pie.
Better be good.
How much love was put into this pie?
Oh, there's 15 love.
It's a
Wait, wow, that's a very wow. How Tennessee? Thank you, Dice.
The pie actually has a little frosting that says "Happy 3rd birthday, Timmy." On the top.
They frosted the pie. They frosted the apple pie with "Happy 3rd birthday."
Are we there
to
yet?
No, we had a whole pie subquest. That's why it took an hour.
Yeah.
It was on the way.
I gave Nines an opening, and he took it.
Yep.
Swiped it.
And
He swiped it.
Nines led us down every single street.
Looking. That's why it took an hour, because he was looking for a pie to swipe.
Why did we let him leave?
That's a great question. Maybe you just wanted pie.
Why are we let him leave?
Are you there yet?
Yes, after an hour, you are there now. You find the home.
Do you want to?
Legit-
I knock on the door.
Of course, that was very polite of you, Nines.
You hear a little kind of bustling on the inside, and then an older gentleman comes to answer the door.
Hello, new
Wait.
neighbor. I am your friend. Here is pie.
While that bustling is happening, I'm turning into a squirrel and trying to go down the chimney.
Okay. Let's. I am figuring out how I want to do this. Let me take a. Do you happen to have squirrel stats available?
Let me double check.
You want to check in on the DM dailies, where
It
Alexis
teaches you
will,
how to be prepared for any situation.
will teach you all about how there are statistics for squirrels in this game. Somehow, there is.
There's not necessarily official stats for a squirrel,
But there
but there are
are unofficial ones.
unofficial ones. I can't find any quickly, so what I'm gonna say is let's make an athletics check with advantage, and let's see how well you can
If I'm-
handle your squirrelness.
If I'm climbing, would that be a acrobatics though? As a squirrel?
No, you're still using your strength to pull yourself up and keep yourself. I mean, you're basically climbing up like the side of a house here. The straight.
What-
You can do it.
What would you guess a squirrel's bonus is?
I'm gonna say that. Well, I'm gonna set a DC, and it should
I'll
be.
see what
And we'll just see what happens. You're rolling with advantage here.
18.
Yeah. You managed to clamber your way up and down the chimney. The up was pretty easy. The down is much harder. You're now really keeping yourself from falling down. The inside, it's sooty in here. It hasn't been cleaned very recently. And you are now a very soot-covered squirrel.
I'm gonna do like the little like soot under the eyes thing.
There's enough soot where like you're
I'm
just covered in soot.
Alright, I'm a stealth squirrel now.
It's the picture the animated 101 Dalmatians and how they all turn themselves into Labradors
Alright, with the soot.
with the soot.
Yeah.
That's what you have now.
Alright, I'm going to try and sneak
You're a ninja squirrel.
into the house and just see what's happening while Nines is knocking on the door.
All right. So you're staging yourself inside to watch what happens.
Yeah.
I'm standing behind Nines, not with weapons drawn, but ready just in case there's trouble.
Okay.
I will just knock on the door. We will not
So
do the
you
family or neighbor subplot.
rewinding time a little bit here. You are now in the living room. What you see from your squirrely vantage is a couple of older folks, look to be in their 60s or so, sitting in some chairs. They're having a little breakfast and talking to each other. I mean, you guys started the day at like 4 a.m. So it's about like 10 now. Actually, not even that late. It's probably like 8 o'clock in the morning. And these two folks are making themselves a little food, sitting down, and they're having a quiet conversation about the day's events thus far.
That
Just the two.
explains why they didn't have lunch at the taverns. It was too early.
Yeah, so it was second
When you-
breakfast we got.
When Nines goes and knocks on the door, the older gentleman kind of picks himself up from the chair and then shuffles his way over to the door. He looks to have a little bit hard time walking with one of his legs. It seems really stiff. Got a little bit of a limp. And then he gets to the door. Can I help you?
Yes, I am here with my 2 associates. My 1 associate. We have some questions for you. And this pie.
They smell like a nice pie, but
Who's
Rich
Timmy?
pie.
who's Timmy?
That's not important. We have questions that are.
Okay. Yeah, what question do you have?
Do you know a Finny?
Yeah. That's my son, my boy Finny.
Yes, we have reason to believe that he is committing crimes.
What?
Have you seen him lately?
Darling, you better come here. And the older woman now gets up and walks over to the door. Oh, what's going on?
The poop is missing. Does your son know anything about it?
We haven't seen our son in several years.
So you don't think he stole it?
I don't know what to think. I haven't seen him in quite some time. We had a terrible fight the last time that we saw him.
Well, I think we should come in so we can talk about it and be distraction.
I'd prefer not to have any guests right now, but I'm happy to answer your questions.
I'm going to start moving silently through the house. I'm looking for anything that seems amiss, but I'm also looking to see if they have any pictures or portraits of someone who might be Finny.
There's no portraits or anything like that up. The pictures aren't really a thing in this world.
Common folk.
Yeah. So the walls are, painted. There's one room that's done in some wallpaper. It's a bit garish. It's a little bit much. So there's no portraits, there's no paintings, nothing like that of anyone who looks to be Finny. You're just making your way through the whole house?
Yeah, I'm gonna check for where Finny's room might be, and also maybe the basement or attic.
There's
This is one
a
floor.
small second floor to this house. It's just it's just 2 bedrooms. One seems to be where the older couple stays. You recognize the various personal effects of an older man and woman, and you just get the sense it's probably their room. And then there's another bedroom that has a rather thick layer of dust on most everything in there, and it seems to have been untouched in many years. You can guess, based on the conversation you overheard, this might be their Finny's room.
Okay. And it doesn't look like anything has been disturbed.
Not in this room, no.
Are there any books, journals, things like that?
There are a couple of books. You don't see anything that looks like a journal, and nothing in here has any signs that it's been moved.
Okay. I'm thinking this might be a red herring side.
Well, we can still try to pump more information out.
Yeah, you guys are continuing to talk, and I'll just keep checking around.
Okay. Back
do
at
it.
the front door now.
I'll be doing a thorough investigation of Finney's room,
All right.
looking for any
look-
mention of Kidrin.
So I stand behind Nines, not looking threatening, but looking unhappy, disgruntled at the answers that we're getting.
Okay. Go ahead. Continue your line of questions.
So you haven't seen them. Why aren't you in contact with them anymore?
Well, we had a big fight. Well, we haven't talked to him since then.
What was fight about?
What he was doing for work. He's a sailor, you see. And
Where did he sail to?
oh, well, he has several jobs over the years now. His first one was on a modest fishing vessel. Just working the lines and they're making sure they bring in a good haul, but it's not fancy. And it didn't pay him much, but it was honest work. But the fishing...
He do any dishonest work.
The fishing around here isn't what it used to be. The schools have moved on, I think. I say they were fishing too much in the area. And the fish have left. Gone elsewhere. A lot of jobs on boats disappeared. So he took up some other work, sailing longer and longer hauls, going different places. He took up more dangerous jobs to, well, pay the bills. He wanted to help us. He wanted to make things comfortable for us, and I told him I didn't want that on his shoulders. My health is my own problem. But he took up jobs with privateers, and then with worse. Yeah, we had plenty of money, but I wouldn't take it from him. Couldn't accept it. Wasn't clean money.
How do you know it wasn't clean?
I knew what my son was doing. And this moment, his wife pipes in. Our son has a good heart, but he's maybe a bit too eager. He became a pirate. Those years working on a privateer ship, they didn't do him any good. They let him think.
I asked from the background. You who are the mother of Finney Lidgerton, do you know the name of the ship that he was on?
No. No, we never asked him for that. I didn't want to know. Neither of us did.
Did he have like a bad guy he hung out with?
I'd say almost everyone that he spent time with. He met all sorts of unsavory characters. I never much cared for him. He once tried to bring his friends here and we wouldn't let him stay. That's what started the fight.
Also, this seems like a dead end.
At this point,
Unfortunately, yes.
soot-covered squirrel just goes charging out the front door after covering the house in little soot footprints.
I was about to say, you're like the most obnoxious little rodent right now. You've got little sooty footprints all over the house.
I rolled around on my rug.
Sorry, is a peevish little jerk sometimes. Yeah, so you go running all over the place and, well, make a real shit show out of their house. Good job.
And I climb up on Elsa's shoulder.
Also, if
Acting
you have
like
a...
Elsa's pet.
It's a good thing I have gleaming armor.
You have gleaming armor. You don't have gleaming clothing. Your clothing is now quite
Oh,
covered
no.
in soot.
Also, if you
So is
have
that side of
you
your
have thing
face.
right here.
Yeah. Yes, I do. I think I know what that thing is, though.
Anyway, we'll try to find your son. Tell him that you feel sorry or something. I'll take that pie back now.
No, you won't. We answered your questions.
Tell him it
I'm
was
gonna eat this
stolen.
pie. It smells tasty. Now, if you wouldn't mind leaving us alone, appreciate that. Good day. And he shuts the door, taking the pie with him.
It is a good thing that you had your piece of pie before you gave it to him.
Yes, but I'm a bit angry. I take a piece of paper and I write, "Ha ha, I stole your pie and took it back to this place because I am evil." And I go back to wherever I got the pie and I put it underneath the silver. If it's still there.
Roll a wisdom check.
That's an 18.
All right, you managed to find your way back without wasting very much time. It only takes you
Yay.
10 minutes now to go back to your place of wanton thievery.
Also, I take the silver back.
You guys,
I don't, I don't
you're
tell-
not murder hobos, but you are like pie thief hobos.
We're petty thieves.
Yeah,
And then we blame
in
other
that
people
sense.
for it.
Steal pies, mess up rugs.
I don't tell them where I went,
Well, we
but
have
they can
spent
probably assume.
I'm gonna have, if there's like, I assume there's assorted like pumps or fountains for water in the area as we're walking along.
What do you mean?
I just wanna wash off
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you mean, like pumps here?
Yeah.
You mean like a little
a water pump.
water pump?
Yeah.
or some fetid water in the gutter.
Yeah, there's a couple of water pumps.
All right. I'm just gonna. Well, I'm still a squirrel. Just wash off.
I was gonna use my mug or my firkin of infinite beverages.
To pour meat on it.
It produces water.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And I
fresh
can take
and
a little
soaked.
squirrel bath in one of your +1 mugs.
Yeah, the health inspector will love that.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna clean off the soot and then climb up on nines and shake off the water.
All right.
I
get yourself
I
clean.
shake off the water.
We have a
Right
shake
after
off.
she shakes the water on me, I shake the water off of myself.
We have a shake off.
There you go. All right. You shake off.
Alright.
She's still on top of me when I shake off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does she go anywhere? Or is she just clinging on?
Squirrels are pretty good at clinging on to things, so
I will.
She stays put.
I will eventually change back though after cleaning.
all right.
So, did you find anything in their house
Just
that you
a-
ruined?
Just a lot of dust, and you didn't see inside.
I know where you came from, though.
So shall we go look at the barge?
I think we should look at the barge, but also talk to the town council leader, Finran.
If we happen onto Finran on our way to the barge, we'll do
Yeah.
that. Otherwise, we'll look for him after the barge.
Yep.
All right. So when you get down to the docks, you find that the mayoral candidates are still around, trying to help organize basically the reconstruction effort, and searching for their stolen pump. They're continuing to try and make whatever efforts they can to recover their property. There's a fairly large crowd still gathered around and voicing their opinion openly. This has sort of turned into a bit of an open forum.
Do we see anybody who would match Kidnear's description?
Yeah, I'll look around too.
Okay, roll a perception check.
Can we both, or just him?
Well, if you want to assist him, you can roll with advantage, or you can each roll a perception check. I'll leave that up to you.
I have +7.
Well, then you should do that, because I have +3.
I'll give myself guidance.
Okay, sure.
Can I look to see if anyone in the crowd seems out of place?
Since, what I'll do is, why don't you roll, I was going to say, roll with advantage, and we'll look for people who look out of place. We'll do all of that in a single perception roll here.
Okay. Who is looking?
You.
Okay.
Since,
with advantage.
Yes.
And guidance.
With advantage and guidance.
Because we're all searching.
The two of you are basically assisting Soria in this.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
I'm not rolling well tonight.
One of the things that you pick up on, and you don't see anyone who fits the name of Kidnear, right?
Okay, yeah. Tall, portly elf.
Yeah, you don't see anyone who fits that description. But there is someone who's standing out to you that you start to take notice of because they talk loudly and frequently. And they're pushing very hard for the candidates and the city to just pay the ransom. So there's one gentleman who's just shouting as often and as frequently as he can, just pay the ransom! Just give him the money! We can't let the town sink!
Does this person look at all like the two elderly people?
No.
Okay.
Well, we should go find out why this person is so insistent on paying the ransom.
Why don't you finesse them with your cat-like charms?
All right. I pull out my
Club.
my club.
I give you guidance.
All right. It's going to be that sort of session down here.
Nine's persuasion
I'm not
technique.
gonna hurt him right now.
First.
Excuse me, sir.
Ah!
Me and my associates would like to talk to you somewhere quiet.
No. Nope. No. I am fine here. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna stay right here. This is good.
I go behind him
What?
and tap
What's
him on
that,
the
club?
shoulder.
Are you thirsty? For blood? Oh, you're just drooling.
What?
Blood.
Hey, okay. What do you guys want? What is it that you want?
We want to know why you think that they should just give up. Are you in cahoots?
In cahoots with what?
The ransomers.
No, I'm not in cahoots with the ransomers. I just want them to pay. You know, we can't risk the town over some money.
I'm going to just be sitting back during this interrogation, just observing him to see if he's lying while they're talking.
Okay. We'll do an insight check afterwards.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know ahead of time what I'm doing.
All right. No, I just want him to pay the ransom because it's losing the town. It's not worth trying to hunt this thing down. It's just money, after all. That's all it is. It's just some money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, though.
Oh well, I'm sure that the two of them could pay. I heard them offer, more than half of the ransom just to a couple of adventurers if they could find them.
Yes, I know all about the handsome adventurers.
And why pay them that money? Just pay the ransom, we'll get the pump back, and we can get the town going again.
Oh yeah, like they're gonna totally just give you the pump.
Well, that's what they said they were gonna do. They're clearly, capable of doing worse. We shouldn't mess around with these guys.
What do you mean they can do worse?
They already blew up half the town. It's why couldn't they do worse than that?
Well, maybe they're just just did all their big stuff now. Maybe they don't have anything else.
I want you to make a persuasion check. That's the closest thing that I can come to see how well you're doing here.
And I gave you guidance.
I admit it doesn't fit perfectly, but we're gonna go with persuasion.
Well, I'm not threatening them yet. Are you even close enough to give me guidance?
I gave it right before you went in.
Oh, that's right.
It lasts for at least a minute, so.
Okay, that one is a nat 20 and a 4, so that's a 30.
Wow.
Okay.
That's better than a 1.
That is way better than a 1.
20 times.
I'm sure they could do worse. They seem pretty capable. Yeah, what do you know about them anyway? I'm sure they're, tough and dangerous. So this town should just pay to get rid of them.
Also, do you think this guy's telling the truth? With your great insight, Chuck?
I do not believe that he is telling us everything he knows. I think that he might even know where Finney Lidgerton might be.
Yeah, do you know where Finney is?
I want you to make an intimidation check here.
Also,
9, since he's the one asking the question.
so you get advantage with your club, correct?
Yep. Didn't help much, but... it's still gonna be a 16.
And what was the question that you asked him?
Where's Finney?
Yeah, where's Finney?
Finney, why would I know where he is?
So you do know who he is?
What? No, I don't know who any Finney is. What?
Olsef,
I think that it
go
is.
grab him!
How is my insight doing on this guy?
Why don't you roll an insight
I
check?
put my hand
Guidance?
gently on his shoulder.
Since it was used, you can now use it again.
18.
You're pretty sure that he's lying and lying rather badly.
I put my hand on his shoulder gently and squeeze not so gently.
Not respectfully.
Not respectfully. Say, you who are lying to us, we wish that you would guide us to Finney now.
I don't know where Finney is.
Look, let me tell you something. I'm not really good with this club, but he's great with that dagger.
And I show him a Lashalar.
Roll an intimidation check.
16 again? Everything's been below except for that one perception check.
Good.
That one, and you nailed it. Okay, look. I really don't know where Finney is. We're all supposed to split up, stay separate. I don't know where he is. Just leave me alone.
Where are you going to meet after you got the gold?
We were supposed to go get our gold down in the Free States. We were gonna meet in Carmazon, the capital.
How is the gold going to get there?
I don't know. It's that wizard trickery, whatever they do.
So you expected Kidnir to just bring the gold to you? Why would you trust him?
because we know who he is. Hunt him down. How much damage could a little weak wizard do? Dealt with his type before.
Where's the pump?
I don't know. That was his department.
What's your department?
Logistics. I made sure we all got here. Now I'm here trying to make sure they pay.
How many are involved?
Enough.
That's not a number. Mine is a number. It's my number.
One is a number. Sometimes it is the loneliest
number.
Although 2 can be as bad as 1.
Look, there's 4 of us. Okay? Not backup, though.
You will name the 4 of you.
Insight check.
Okay, go ahead and roll an insight check.
Guidance.
8.
Was that another nat 1?
It was a 2.
Okay.
He's a pelican.
See? 2 can be as bad as 1.
So, you're not... You're fairly certain that he's telling the truth about there being 4 of them. Because you can already count that there's been 3 named, and there's still 1 more that it would leave. You're not 100% on whether he's telling the truth when it comes to having backup or not. That's a little bit more vague.
What's your name?
Like I'm gonna tell you. You already
What's
know
your
too
tragic
much.
I
backstory?
squeeze a little bit harder.
Ugh. All right, look.
And put my other hand on his other shoulder.
My name is Ulris.
Ulris. And where are you from?
Here.
Who's
From your own fellow citizen.
And
Oh, fuck these 2.
And who is the 4th?
who, after Kidnir, Finny, and yourself, who is your 4th?
All right. You guys, I hate you. But let us go. I'll give you everything I know. All right. I'll help get you. His name's not. Did he really use Kidnir?
That's what he wrote.
Fucking amateur. It's just his name backwards. His real name is Ridnick. Sorry, I said that wrong. Rindick.
Emphasis on the dick.
Ryndik. It's his real name. He really used Kidnir?
Yeah.
And he thought that would be a oh, what an
He
idiot.
has beautiful handwriting.
So we have the wizard, Rindick.
Look. I'll help you get him. I'll help you get the pump. Tell you who else is part of this. If you let me, Finnell, and the other guy go.
And who is the other guy?
His name's Quentin.
Quentin.
We all grew up together here in town.
Was he your firebug?
Yeah. Quentin, well, he usually mans the cannons when we're sailing together. He's pretty good at triggers and fuses.
Did you all meet on a pirate ship?
No, we grew up together.
Oh.
We've known each other
On a
since we were
pirate ship?
kids. Look, once a lot of the fish left, and folks got a taste for the dire creatures that come out of the waters around Krebstadt, our little town hasn't been doing quite as well. You know, the flowers and all the herbs and things, they still sell all right, but fishing industry, that's what we knew. And it's not here anymore. So we all took up jobs doing different things for different privateers, sailing for the Republic. They'd, capture enemies of the Republic, take their stuff, and then send the ship back on its way. Try not to hurt anybody. We'd get into scraps from time to time. Didn't feel like honest work, to put it bluntly. All we were helping do is get rich people richer. So we said, let's go try to turn the tables, and we took up piracy. Figured that'd be the best thing we could do to get back at the bastards that kept hurting the smaller folk. That's what we've been doing for the last few years. So that's how we got here. All right?
Where did you meet Ridnick?
You mean Rindick?
Rindick.
I said it wrong the first time.
Rindick?
Rindick.
Where'd you meet Rindick?
He was up in the Bandit Isles. I don't know too much about what he does or why he needs a lot of money, but he said that he could help us pull off a big heist. So we hatched a plan, and he said he could make it all happen.
If you can lead us to this Rindick, we will vouch for the three of you. But we can't protect you for what you've done.
I will teach you the code of Remardin. It may be helpful.
Just leave us out of it. No one's gonna care once the pump is back. And this Rindick asshole, he's the one who did all the work.
Leave them out of it.
Just don't say we were part of any of this, all right?
Sure.
Look,
Well, we must be moving very quickly because we would like to solve this by sundown today.
okay?
Where is Rindick?
Don't know where he is right now, but I think I might have a plan to draw him out, okay? Yeah, we gotta meet up with the rest of them. There's a signal that we all agreed on between the three of us. Shit went sideways.
Like it
And it
has.
has.
Thanks for the reminder, asshole.
You're welcome.
Then
He's very nice.
one of us would send up the signal.
He was
we'd all
very
get
polite.
together. Look, believe me when I say that the people we're trying to get the money from, they aren't the nicest of folks, all right?
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Guidance?
Hey. 22.
Look. See those two pompous jackasses over there?
Yes.
Swallfoot and Rum? Yeah, they haven't done all that much to help the town. See, Swallfoot, he's been in the floral and herb industry for decades.
Sounds real seedy.
He's not some sort of criminal.
Oh, okay.
He was making fun.
I was making a seed pun.
Okay, I get it now. Sorry, I'm a pirate.
Does the other one do fishy work?
No,
Oh.
that's kind of the point.
Well.
The Rum, well, she and her family are in banking. They help secure loans to the people here in town, and they don't exactly help folks out. They get the money when they need it, but they ask for a lot in return.
Well, perhaps when we are finished, Nines can give you lessons about the proletariat and the bourgeoisie and the class struggle that occurs between them and the kind of politics that one might follow in order to reform society.
Also,
On
you
his
should just
travels,
run for mayor.
Ulseth has just been reading Marx. Just, oh.
Why don't you run for mayor?
Now, who's gonna vote for me? All right, some.
I'll vote for you.
You're not a citizen.
I can't vote.
No one's gonna vote for me. Yeah, what? Why would anyone care? Not rich or powerful, not like these two assholes. They haven't done anything to help the town. They just sit there continuing to get richer and richer, and they don't pay people anymore or help find some work for them. So the town struggles and they're fine, do nothing to help.
Which is why it's perfectly acceptable to risk drowning the whole town for a quick cash payout.
We're never gonna drown the whole town. I mean, I don't think Rendick would do that.
How well do you really know him?
Guess not very well. Seemed like a good way to squeeze money out of these guys. You really think that he could drown the whole city?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
In sewerage.
Every single wizard we've met has been morally bankrupt or devoid of any social skills.
And that's the best one we met.
Fuck. Right. Okay. I'll, Look. I can't get the signal out here. We gotta go into center town. Okay?
Alright.
It's in the heart of the residential area. Mm-hmm. That's where we were supposed to send it up if we could. We don't need to spook them.
We will provide a protective escort so that no one can get to you and you cannot get away.
As long as you agree to run for mayor after this.
No, what I mean is, if I send it up down here, I send that signal up...
me.
We are not asking you to send the signal here. We will accompany you to the designated signaling place.
Yes.
All right. Don't look too aggressive. Otherwise, if one of them sees it, they might not show up, okay?
I'm just gonna be talking to this into this little silver disc.
Okay. Whatever.
Yes, I'm one club away.
Do you really think I could run for mayor?
Yeah, sure. You seem to know there's problems here. You want to fix it.
Never thought of doing that.
Talk to all those people you say get screwed. And be like, hey, let's screw those guys.
Okay.
Legally.
Maybe. I'm guessing you start making your way.
Yeah, and as we go, I'm gonna call Dole.
Okay. What do you say?
Hey, Dole.
I am not sure that you are aware of this. I am currently in El Siren. I am guessing you are not. Because it is dinner time here.
Oh.
I am consuming food. This is an
fine.
inopportune moment to talk.
Are you with your family?
No.
Are you alone?
Yes.
You're not alone now.
I suppose that is technically true.
I just had a quick question.
That remains to be determined, but please go ahead.
Do you know a really evil wizard sorcerer person named Rendick who has been living in the Banded Isles?
Know a dangerous moron named Rendick, but I don't know anyone who's very powerful evil wizard named Rendick.
Oh, what's the dangerous moron?
The dangerous moron, that, as I said, is named Rendick. He has experimented far too often with conjuration magic, attempting to create planar loops.
Soria, does he know who we're talking about?
Yeah, he does. He's a dangerous moron.
Oh, okay.
Who has played?
Tell him I said hi.
How would you undo one of those planar loops if one were to have been put on a extremely important, destroy a whole city sort of piece of fervent tech?
In theory, a planar loop is impossible. What his work was posturing is that you could create a two-way gateway that would remain stable and open between 2 points in 2 different planes.
All right. So, and did he go to the Bandit Isles because he was a dangerous moron and no one liked him?
To the best of my knowledge, he has spent the last several years traveling the world attempting to secure funding for his research. No one in Ilsiren would fund it. The very principles of his research are completely flawed and impossible.
All right. What can I say that would really piss him off?
I'm not good at reading people's emotions, so I'm unsure of how to answer that question.
Maybe I'll just call him a dangerous moron.
That seems to be the most prompt way to insult somebody I've found over the years.
All right. So if he were to have hidden a large piece of machinery in some sort of planar pocket, how would I undo that?
How long has the object been missing?
About, what, 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah.
5 hours? 6?
Well, in that
That's if it's
case,
a concentration spell.
I believe that you would simply have to break his concentration on that.
It is a concentration. You're really smart.
Ooh.
So we just
Yes, I am
gotta...
the smart this episode.
All right, so we just gotta punch him. Got it.
Not necessarily. He could have transferred the spell to another focus, allowing him to devote far less of his attention to keeping the enchantment going. It only works if it's an inanimate object, as living creatures have a willpower of their own.
So we need to just punch him and break everything he owns.
I don't know if that level of extremity is called for, however, I cannot argue that that would not work.
Nines is very good at just breaking things.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Doll. This is super helpful. What are you eating?
What am I eating?
Yeah.
I am eating a protein paste that fills my dietary requirements.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. You have to send me the recipe sometime.
I've never had anyone ask for this recipe. I crafted it myself. It is a tasteless, flavorless, odorless, and generally, you hear a slight sloshing in the background? Noiseless. I'm still working on that part.
Well, it sounds great. If as like a base or something, if you could just, whenever it's convenient, I don't want to bother you too much while you're eating. But just you can reach out to me.
Hear
So
a little
just,
more sloshing.
I would suggest maybe some cornstarch or something to thicken it a little if you want to reduce the noise. But yeah. If you feel like throwing me the recipe sometime, just give me a ring on the old discus.
I've never had anyone offer to assist me with anything of this nature. I find your kindness confusing, but reassuring. I believe the appropriate response is thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that I can assist you with?
Anything else, guys?
No, did we hear what he was saying?
No.
Did you tell him I said hi?
Nine says hi.
I believe the proper
cat.
response is to say hello.
He says hello.
That's great.
All right. Well,
Progress.
I'll let you finish your awesome protein gruel, and we're gonna go punch Rendick in the face.
That sounds like a plan that is better than your average.
Like better than my personal average, or like the average plan for people.
I believe the answer is yes on both counts.
All right. Thank you, Doll.
You're welcome.
All right.
He's learning.
I put the disc guy.
Okay.
So Zoria, what did you find out?
Rendick's a dangerous moron who's experimenting with some magic stupid that no one believes can actually work, and so he has no funding for it, so he's stealing the money. And all we gotta do to get the pump back is punch him in the face a whole bunch until he stops the spell.
We could probably do that. We should let Oris know that he is going to be ripped off by...
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
100%.
So let us make our way to the signaling place.
Which we've been doing, because I've been talking on the disc while we walk.
Are we there yet?
Just, I love that this group travels like a 7-year-old in the back of the car on the way down to Disney from like upstate New York. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? It's fantastic.
Sometimes when I ask that, we are.
Mostly also.
You wend your way through the streets of the city, taking what your ward, I'll call Alaris, lets you know is on purpose to make sure that no one's following and keep your path clear from those that might figure out what you're doing. He's open about this. He's not trying to deceive you in this regard. And it takes you, all said and done, about half an hour of purposely meandering through town before you arrive at around the center of the city, which is nothing to write home about. It's just a residential part of the town. Some homes, mostly sort of townhouse style, quiet street. And he says, okay, I'm going to send the signal up. Just be ready, because they'll be here pretty quick. Might take just a minute or two.
Be ready? Like, what? For what? Beating him up?
No. The signal, it's just between 3 of us. And Dick doesn't know about it.
Alright.
This was, in case the 3 of us needed to get out of town. And that's what we're going to call the session.
We were just getting something.
We were about to kill 3 people.
Or not.
Or not.
Or not. We don't know.
So yeah.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, a little cliffhanger here. Classic. I feel like by the end of this, we got to a really classic, like, old-time radio mystery sort of setting. This felt like a very classic radio mystery ending to an episode.
Have we been doing good with your...
You guys have taken a very interesting path to getting to this point.
That's right. Nines took a very interesting path to get to the place we were going.
There were some things that I thought you might do, and you did, and then there's been quite a bunch that I wasn't expecting you to do. So this has been fun, and I was hoping to get sort of an old-timey radio mystery program out of this, and it ended on a wonderful cliffhanger for that. So I'm excited. I'm liking this. I hope everyone had a good time. I hope you 3 had a good time with this episode. We will be off, as one final reminder, we're off for our normal Sunday broadcast over the Labor Day weekend, because it's a holiday weekend, and we found that people don't often really watch much streaming over the holiday weekends during the summer. So, enjoy the weekend, stay safe. We will have our regularly scheduled broadcasts for the art streams and the rebroadcast, where you can watch this episode again if you want on Thursday. And the next time we will be back is the week after Labor Day. So, see you then. Thanks, everybody. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.